What up, y'all? Franchise Sports TV back again, coming at you with another video. I'm about to start a new series up. I'm gonna call this series Whatever Happened. And it basically is covering all the players of, let's say, drafted 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe 15 years ago. Maybe even back to 20 years ago almost now. There's been a lot of players who were up there, considered to be in the upper echelon of the NBA before injuries, mainly injuries, and poor play came about, right? There's been plenty. But in this video, I'm going to talk about John Wall, because John Wall was one of those players of the last decade who had somewhat of his own fan base. I think at one point in time, he even had a shoe. Was somewhat in the popular culture, could say lexicon at one point in time when in his early years of the Washington Wizards, and then all of a sudden probably from 2016 and 18, maybe 19, his career just because of injuries and everything else. So starting off with John Wall, as you know, John Wall used to play for the Washington Wizards, right? So I'm going to start from his early beginnings. So John Wall, born on September 6, 1990, only a few months after Wall. Childhood, it was kind of rocky. It was rocky. His father, I don't want to talk about that like that, but his father was in and out of prison, and unfortunately he passed away from liver cancer at age 52 after being released from prison. It just wasn't great for John Wall's family. His half brother, was in and out in prison as well. And then, but he was released in 2018. His mother had to work multiple jobs to support him. His sister and his half sister. John Wall, because of his father's death, wasn't fond of authority from adults, and he was a head case somewhat. And eventually, of course, he changed his life around, playing in high school ball, of course. Actually played for two AAU basketball teams, the Gardner Road and the D1 Sports. He played his high school ball at Gardner, North Carolina, because he is from Raleigh, North Carolina. He played his first 2 years at Gardner Magnet High School in Gardner, North Carolina, and then he was cut because of attitude-related issues after his sophomore year, and then they was transferred to the Word of God Christian Academy in Raleigh, and he kind of changed about a little bit, working under Coach Levy Beckwith. Coach made him start demeaning his teammates for missed layups and later improve his facial expression and general demeanor. You can kind of tell that John Wall was kind of like that back then. He got invited to prestigious Reebok All-American Camp in Philly. He made himself known, scoring 28 points in the game against the team that featured Brandon Jennings. He would have ended up playing with the Elite 24 Hoops Classic, scoring 10 points and winning co-MVP alongside Dominique Cheek, Malik Waynes, and Lance Stevenson. He was actually a fifth-year senior, because I was always confused. I'm like, what? If he was born, usually, if you were born in 1990, usually you would graduate either in 08 or even 09, but he ended up graduating in 010, so he was a fifth-year senior in 09, but he averaged 19.7 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds for Word of God Christian Academy, and the school was ranked one of the best high school players. He was ranked one of the best high school players in that class. He led the Rams, the name of the team, to a North Carolina Class 1A state championship, but he was defeated by United Faith Christian Academy 56-53. He ended up scoring 11 points in that game. He got to participate in the 09 Nike Hoops Classic Summit in Portland, where he scored 13 points along with 11 assists and 5 steals. He was also selected to play in the Jordan Brand Classic that year. at Madison Square Garden when he notched 6 assists, but he was not a McDonald's All-American. I always thought he was, but he was not. For recruitment, he was recruited by University of Kentucky, Duke, Georgia Tech, and Kansas. But he would commit to University of Kentucky under John Calipari, which I think he's on his way to going to Arkansas now. But he was suspended from the NCAA from Kentucky's first exhibition game and first regular season game for travel benefits he received from AAU coach Brian Clifton, a certified agent at the time. Now that will be illegal now, which is whatever. He will play in his first exhibition game against Clarion University of Pennsylvania as a freshman and led his team to score 27 points and 9 assists in 28 minutes of playing time. And his actual college, I can't talk right now, in his debut in college versus Miami University, Wall made a game-winning shot with 0.5 seconds left to help the number 5 ranked Kentucky win. He finished with 19 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists. In a game against Hartford in late 09, John Wall set the Kentucky single-game record with 16 points, 11 in the first half, with 11 assists, 16 assists, 11 assists in the first half, with only 1 turnover. That mark was previously held by Travis Ford at 15 and was broken on Ford's 40th birthday. Damn. Wall scored 9 points, failing to break double digits the first time in his college career. He's also got inducted to the Hall of Fame for Kentucky in 2017. Now, as far as Kentucky that year, they finished, I know they was ranked 5. They was 35-3 that year, 14-2 under Calipari. It was actually his first season. And that team had a lot of NBA studs on there. But they would finish in the Elite 8, losing to, who did they lose to that year? West Virginia, number 6 West Virginia, 73-66. I kind of remember that game. It was all in tears. But on that team with John Wall was Darius Miller, who would play in the NBA. DeMarcus Cousins, as we know, will play in the NBA. Eric Bledsoe, Daniel Orton, DeAndre Liggins, Patrick Patterson, all played in the NBA. I think the only one that's still going at it, I don't even think Eric Bledsoe's in the league, but DeMarcus Cousins overseas in Taiwan as we speak right now. So John Wall said F going in there the year at college. He was already getting old. I think 2010 wasn't. He was already 20 as a freshman. So he declared for the NBA draft. In the 2010 NBA draft, I should say. I think he was trying to get in the 09 draft, but I think the league rules stated that American players must turn 19 during the year of the draft and be a year removed from high school. He was only 18 since he turned 19 in September. I think that's how that went. But anyways, he got into the NBA draft in 2010 and was suspected to be a first overall selection for the Washington Wizards, which he was. Drafted number 1 by the Washington Wizards. I think he got a shoe deal with Reebok that year. Them shoes were ugly. I think Reebok was trying to revitalize their NBA players' selections of shoes. Because I think after Iverson went downhill, they really didn't have anybody. So they tried to use John Wall to promote that zig-tag slash. That shoe was ugly. I'm sorry, but like I said, Wall was drafted number 1 overall by the Washington Wizards that year. He would gain all rookie honors. He was also the most valuable player in the summer league that year, averaging 23 points and 7 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. I think one of the claim to fame for John Wall was that he was fast. And in his prime, when he first came in the league, he was probably one of the fastest players in the league. Wall made his NBA debut 112 in an 83 loss to the Orlando Magic, having 14 points and 9 assists and 3 steals. In his third game, he finished his third game, his first home game, he tied a franchise record with 9 steals and became the only second player in NBA history to get 9 assists or more in each of his first 3 games. He will record his first triple-double with 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 30 assists to go on with 6 steals and only 1 turnover. Wall was the third youngest player to record a triple-double in NBA history. Wall was named the 2011 Rookie MVP for that game during All-Star Weekend, named Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month from January to April, and finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting behind a unanimous selection. Blake Griffin was named to NBA All-Rookie First Team. Sophomore season, which was the lockout season, he was starting in all 66 games. He was selected to play in the NBA All-Star Weekend Rising Stars Challenge, drafted by Team Chuck, mixture of rookies and sophomores, finishing that season 16.3, 8 assists, and 4.5 rebounds. The Wizards sucked pretty much this time, so there was no playoffs in his future. Wall might come across a terrible injury beginning of the 2012-13 season, a knee injury. He will return January 12th against the Atlanta Hawks, scoring 14 points in a win. He is named Eastern Conference Player in a week in March. In a road game against the Los Angeles Lakers, he scored 24 points, 16 assists in a win. In a win against the Memphis Grizzlies, he scored a career-high 47 points to go almost 7 rebounds and 8 assists. Ending that season 18.5 points a game, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. He signed a 5-year extension with the Wizards, which was approximately worth $80 million at the time. And the 2013-2014 season will mark the first time the Washington Wizards would go to the playoffs with him. He scored a second triple-double of 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists in the overtime loss against the Boston Celtics. He was selected as an All-Star in the 2014 NBA All-Star Game as a reserve, making his first time. I think he was the first player to win a slam dunk contest for the Washington Wizards. I remember that. I think that was the last time I actually really watched the slam dunk contest until this year. Wall would finish that season 19.3 points a game, 8 assists, and 4.1 rebounds. The Wizards would finish 5th in the East, and first time getting to the playoffs in 6 years, since probably the Gilbert Arenas years, but they was defeated in 5 games against the Chicago Bulls. I don't even think they had John Wall. Oh, not John Wall, Derrick Rose. Maybe they might have. Sorry, I read that wrong. They will beat the Bulls in 5 games. And after defeating the Bulls, the Wizards would play the Indiana Pacers and lose in 6 games. Now, John Wall was also, some things that I told him, some things I got to remember about him, I should say. He was also somewhat very good on defense. In the 2014-15 season, he was named to an all-defensive selection as well. Can't forget about that. What was Bradley Beal? I think Bradley Beal was on that team. That's one of the reasons why I think they actually got to the playoffs. Because Bradley Beal had an extra dynamic to them as well. But yeah, he would get an all-defensive selection that year. And he was also named Eastern Conference starter for the 2015 NBA All-Star Game. But it was something that John Wall did that year that caught a lot of people's attention, and it was off the court. I remember this interview. So on December 8, 2014, Wall recorded 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and a career-high 17 assists in a 133-132 double overtime win over the Boston Celtics. Following that game, Wall dedicated the win to his close friend, a 6-year-old named Demaya Nelson, who passed away from cancer earlier that day. And I remember watching this interview because they was interviewing him. The reporter asked him, "She meant a lot to you, didn't she?" And he kind of broke down, started crying, kind of ended the interview. He later gave the family all his gear that he wore that night, including his shoes, which had Demaya's name on them. Yeah, I remember that. Kind of choke you up seeing that as well, because I remember the story and everything. So, moving on to that season, they will get to the playoffs as well. He recorded a Washington Wizards playoff franchise record with 70 assists as the Wizards defeated the Toronto Raptors to take a 2-0 lead in the first round series. They went on to win that series, sweeping, but they will go on to lose to the Atlanta Hawks that season, which was the number one seed. Probably the most garbage number one seed I've ever seen in my life. As we lose to LeBron James' Cleveland Cavaliers in Eastern Conference Finals that year. The Wizards will miss the playoffs 2015-2016 season, but they will get back to the playoffs in 2016-2017 season. That year, it was not a great season. 2015-2016 was not a great year for the Wizards totally, but John Wall was setting records that year. 2016-17 season, after getting surgery on both of his knees, he will become an NBA All-Selection as well. That year, he broke Wes Unsell's franchise record, 3,822 career assists. Yeah, John Wall was getting assists. He had a season high of 15 assists and 3 blocks in a 106-101 win over the Phoenix Suns. Plus, he was doing this on minutes restrictions as well. Let's see here. I don't want to bore you guys too much with all the details. So, this season actually will be the last season that John Wall will be, let's say, at least a top 10, top 20 NBA player in the league around that time. He did get to the All-Star game in 2017 NBA All-Star game. He tied a career high with 19 assists over a win over the Golden State Warriors as well. In his last playoff series, I think this might have been his last playoff series, he scored a playoff career high 32 points, 114-107 win over the Atlanta Hawks in Game 1 in the first round. In Game 6, he set a new playoff career high with 42 points to help the Wizards eliminate the Hawks with a 115-99 victory, opening round series 4-2. But they will lose. I think they lost to the Boston Celtics 4-3 that season. But he would hit a game-winning three-pointer with 3.5 seconds left in Game 6 to get the Wizards a win. Finished the game with 26 points. And like I said, in the Game 7, which would they lose, he scored 18 points and 11 assists, losing in 7 games. And this is when it gets really bad for John Wall's career. So as I said before, the injuries start piling up. But before the injuries start piling up, John Wall signed a 4-year, $170 million contract extension with the Wizards. He missed 9 games in late November and early December with a knee injury. And in 2018 reared his ugly head for John Wall. On January 30th, this is pretty much how it started. He was sidelined for the next 6-8 weeks due to a troublesome left knee injury requiring surgery. He missed 2 months with the injury, returning into action on March 31st against the Charlotte Hornets, recording 15 points and 14 assists in a win. So I take that back. This was his last playoff series right here against the Toronto Raptors. And against the Toronto Raptors. Wizards went on to lose 6 games despite John Wall's 23 points and 8 assists in Game 6. Let's skip down. So on December 29, he was ruled out for the rest of the season with a left heel injury. After initially undergoing season-ending surgery on his left heel in January 2019, Wall developed an infection in the incision from that surgery. Then he suffered a ruptured left Achilles tendon when he slipped and fell in his home. He is subsequently ruled out for 12 months. So, there it is. He did not travel with the team during the bubble year. And we didn't see him on the court until 2020. So, December 2nd, 2020, maybe coming to 2021, along with a 2023 lottery projected first-round pick, was traded to the Houston Rockets for one Russell Westbrook. On March 22nd, 2021, he logged his 8th career triple-double with 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists in a 117-99 win over the Toronto Raptors, ending the team's 20-game losing streak. It was his first triple-double since 2016. On April 26th, he was ruled off for the remainder of the season after suffering a grade 2 hamstring pull. 2021-22 season, Wall and the Rockets reached a mutual decision for him not to play as the team was rebuilding and developing lone players such as Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. On January 28th, 2022, Wall and the Rockets reached a contract buyout agreement, which would send him to the Los Angeles Clippers last season. He signed with the Clippers, made his debut with the Clippers, putting up 15 points and 4 rebounds and 3 assists in a 103-97 win over the Los Angeles Lakers. On February 9th, 2023, Wall was traded back to the Houston Rockets in a 3-team trade involving Memphis Grizzlies his way 3 days later. And he has not played ever since. It's unfortunate what happened to him. Is the injuries got the better of him. I remember he was selected for the 2014 FIBA World Cup team, but couldn't play. Knee injury. Like I said, John Wall was one of the fastest players. He had a draft Columbine of a 10-8 and a large in the lane agility drills combined. Columbine in the year was 3-14 and a 3/4 court sprint, second best that year. Demonstrated his horizontal vertical quickness. Yeah, he can jump. Being on 6'4" as well. They say he was 6'4" with shoes, but 6'2" barefooted. Crazy how much shoes can give you. Like I said, he was a fast one. He was a fast player, but also he can be very turnover prone because he was too fast as well. He couldn't really shoot that well. He can get to the basket. I think he improved his shooting as his years went on. Hopefully, you hope that will happen to your franchise player. Glad he got his bachelor's degree, finished college and everything as well. It was also said in 2022, it was revealed that he contemplated, leaving this earth after facing a series of emotional and physical struggles he had. I think because of the Achilles injury and the injuries, and then his mother and grandmother passed away a year apart from each other during the COVID pandemic. I actually remember this interview he had on All the Smoke about that. But it's very unfortunate how his career ended for him. I don't think he's going back into the league anytime soon. But his career averages were 18.7 points a game, 8.9 assists, 1.6 steals, 4.1 rebounds, shooting 77% from the free throw, 32% from three, 43% from the field as well, playing in 647 games. He got 5 All-Stars. He played in 4 All-Stars. I think he got 5 All-Stars on his belt, averaging 16 points. He only went to the playoffs 4 times, with the career averages in the playoffs 21 points, 1.7 steals, 1.1 blocks, 9.8 assists, and 4 rebounds, shooting 41% from the field. I think his best season statistic-wise was actually the 2016-2017 season. 17 season, he averaged 23.1 points a game, 2 steals, 10 assists. He averaged a double-double and shot career best 45% from the field as well. I think his best year shooting for the three was the next year, 37%. And that was actually a better year for him blocks-wise, but his averages went down to 19.4. But he only played in 41 games due to some injuries as well. I think he only played in 82 games once, and that was the 2013-14 season. College, he averaged 16 points. So some of his honors he got before I log off on here: 5 All-Stars. He got 1 NBA third team, 2017. He was NBA All-Defensive Second Team, 2015. NBA All-Rookie Team his rookie year, 2011. In college, he was SEC Player of the Year, All SEC First Team, SEC All Freshman Team. He was a tournament MVP for the SEC, all tournament team for the SEC as well. Sport News NCAA All-American First Team. He was co-freshman of the year, AP NCAA All-American, AP NCAA All-American First Team. So, one of the players who led with the most steals in the game, and he even has a dance bio, the John Wall dance. So, when he did that stupid ass this, flexing his arms back and forth while listening to the dugout, I think he did that, caught popularity his freshman year at Kentucky. But it's very unfortunate how his career ended, and sad actually, because he actually is one of the better point guards. I don't know, he's probably a top 5 point guard for his time before the injuries came along. But anyways, that's John Wall for you. Anybody want to throw me suggestions on a player from probably, let's say, was drafted between 2004 to now, probably 2004 and up until now? Suggestions on any players who were their career got cut short. I can take some suggestions from that. But anyways, tell me what you guys think. I know this was a long one, so I apologize.